Good morning, guys. Good afternoon. Good night. This is Miss Padilla here, and we're gonna work with a review of uh, fractions, how to compare fractions, and how to find the equivalent fractions. It's just a short review because, guys, you all know this. We've been doing this for some time. So, what is a fraction? A fraction express or show a part of a whole. You all know that, right? Let's think about this. We're gonna eat a pizza, yummy yummy pizza. But I'm thinking about sharing this pizza with somebody. So I'm gonna divide my pizza in four, okay? But I'm so starving that I'm gonna eat 3/4 of that pizza. Yeah. How much left of the pizza has somebody else to eat? Like, let's say, like my husband. My husband. Think about that. That's right, 1/4 of the pizza. Good job, guys. So the number in the top that represents the amount of pizza that I ate. Do you remember how it's called? It's called the numerator. Up, muy bien, awesome. What about the one in the bottom? It's the denominator. Good job, guys. Now, let's move on to compare fractions. Can we compare these two fractions? Yes, no. Why? Why, Miss Padilla? Can we compare it? Okay, the fraction in the top is 3/5. Awesome. What about the fraction in the bottom? It's also 3/5. Good job. But can I compare them? Why? I want you to remember the principles, the rules that we need to have when we compare two fractions. That's right. We cannot compare these two fractions because of the size of these fractions. Okay? The size of the fractions. This one in the top is larger, even though they're 3/5. They're not the same size. So the whole has to be represented for the same size. Good job, guys. You know this. What about this? Can we compare these two fractions? Yes, no, maybe. Think about that. Also think about the one that we did before. That's right. We can't compare. We can compare it. Yeah, sure, because the size of the whole is the same. Let's practice then. I'm going to give you these fractions and I want you to compare them. I want you to tell me. Take a moment to work out. You can draw it. You can make a number line. Try to figure it out and a strategy that we have used before to compare these two fractions. That's right. And the first one, 2/3 is the greater. Why? We have the same numerator, so we're going to go through the denominator. The smallest the denominator is, the greater the fraction is going to be. If you draw it, you can see it better. Then let's do this. The next one. We have the same denominator. Okay, so the greater one is going to be 3/8 because when we compare fractions with the same denominator, the greater the numerator is, the greater the fraction will be. Let's move on to equivalent fractions. And when we do equivalent fractions, we got to remember that equivalent fractions are going to be representing the same amount no matter if they are divided in different pieces. Like here, I want you to pay attention to these three fractions that we have here. We have 1/2, 2/4, and 4/8. Okay? So they're all equivalent because they are covering, they are representing the same amount, okay? The same amount of the whole um in the three drawings. Okay? They are equivalent. So we can say that 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2. but it's also equivalent to fourth A. So one fraction can have more than one equivalent fraction. Now let's practice. I want you to look at the following exercises. And I want you to pause the video if you need to and work out. It's super simple. You gotta look how many divisions do you have in each one and how much is it covered. Let's see. Let's do number one. Number one half, it's equivalent to 2/4. Very good. Now, in this case, we have one half, but the other fraction is not divided into fourths, but into six. So how many six do I need to make one half? 3 6. That's it. What about here? We have 1/4, right? And the next shape is divided into 8. And we can say that 1/4 is equivalent to 2/8. Phenomenal, guys. Okay, the last one, we also have 1/4, but we have this. This shape is divided into 12s. So how much is it? 3/12. Very, very good. You gotta keep practicing. I want you to take your time to do your exercises and go to your pathway, to your activities, and complete what we have assigned for you today. Thank you for working hard and do your practice now.